What's up, everybody? Big Connect. How we doing? Oh no, no camera. Oh, see, now that's what I get for not testing it. See, that's what I get. Anyway, this is what I look like now. Well, this is what it looks like. Maybe. Maybe. No. Okay, let's give it the old unplug. The old tried and true unplugged technique. We'll even give it the Nintendo 64 a replug. Doop 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 beep beep don't bow out. Hey, there I am. Good afternoon. Nope, it's not. We still got 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes till it's afternoon. Good almost afternoon. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Good to see you guys. It's been forever and a day. Good morning. Just barely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you, maybe 30. Good to see you, Trombone. Congratulations to Trombone for getting first. Welcome in Zando and Sneaky. Zando, I saw you said you won't be able to hang out long. That is a bummer, but I do feel it. I do feel it. But you do get to spin the sub wheel. So, spin the sub wheel while you're still here. Found a friend to take me to a doctor appointment later today. That is wonderful news. Friends are the best. Hey, that's great news. Agreed. Agreed. Let me know how hard you want to spin that sub wheel. What direction? I'm going to turn down the music a little bit because it's a little overwhelming right now. Feeling a little overstimulated. It's been an overstimulating week. A lot happening all the time. For those of you that do not know or are not keeping up with our Discord, I have been at a conference for the first half of this week. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I was at the LEAD conference here in Asheville, North Carolina. Last year, those of you that have been around for longer than a year may recall that I went last year to San Diego for the LEAD conference. This year, it came to the East Coast, to my neck of the woods, and I couldn't not be there. And so, saw maybe 30 and saw Trombone. Saw a bunch of wonderful people. Danny, I'm trying to remember what his name is over there. It's something Pastor, Anvil Pastor Caleb, and some wonderful folks over there. So it was a good time. I'm tired, but I'm here. And then this morning, my daughter had her wellness visit, and so that was like my entire morning. And here's the thing about a wellness visit. You go to the doctor's office, and I always schedule them for first thing in the morning. That way I can try and get them out of the way. It's like this gamble that you play of either the doctor is going to be with you immediately, or you're going to sit in that waiting room, or not waiting room, but sit back in the room for like a good 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So it was really just a gamble. And I think I just got there just a couple minutes too late to be the first one seen. So I had to wait for the doctor to see someone else first, and that took quite a while. So hence why we are just now streaming at noon. We will stream from noon until 3, and then I'll see how much of my sermon I can get written in an hour and a half before I clock out at 4:30. We're here. We're here. We're doing the best we can. We're surviving. We're trying to thrive. Whether we are or not is up for grabs. But we're moving, we're going. And I'm glad to be here with all of you. And I'm glad that you're here with us. Xander, did you say clockwise, counterclockwise, right or left? Or how hard? Let me know. Let me know. Thank you for 16 months of subscription. That's so cool. A year and a third. Strength of 9! Strength of 9. Out of 100? I assume? Wait, did you say counterclockwise? You did. Counterclockwise, strength of 9. I'm just giving you a hard time. It can be whatever scale you want it to be, my friend. Range. Woo! Zando. What do you think that is, huh? What do you think that is right there, Zando? What do you think? What's that look like? Ay. Well, I guess if you want to get a shirt for your wife or a friend, those like broken promises. Yup. All right, well, that's fun. So we'll make sure that happens this time. We're going to have 2 Jeopardy questions coming up here in just 30 seconds. Then we're going to hop into our top 10 list of the day, and then we're going to play a game called A Space for the Unbound. The Schrodinger's shirt. Schrodinger's tea. Shirt in a box. Bats, Trombone, and Everyday Sanctuary, which is an app you should all consider downloading if you'd like a daily spiritual practice for 5 minutes. Abigail Brauka, who created that app, played Cat in the Box together this weekend. Everyday Sanctuary, available in the App Store and Google Play Store. Abigail's great. Maybe I'll get a realistic size, and maybe I'll start hitting the gym regular size. Oh, I do that too. I'm currently rocking the double X, but I refuse to get rid of my XL shirts because I'm like, it could happen. It could happen, you know? Things could change. So, yeah, everydaysanctuary.com. There you go. Great stuff, great ministry. So, shout out. Hashtag shout out. I don't think Abigail's going to come to Twitch anytime soon, but you never know. You never know. Every time I get a shirt that fits a bit tight, I say, this is my new goal shirt. Oh, no, Xando, you're making me feel so seen right now. You're making me feel so seen, dude. I mean, that is just exactly how I feel about it. I'm right there with you. All right, let's do some Jeopardy. Folks, the way that Jeopardy works is just like, actually not, it's not really much at all like the game. The way we play Jeopardy is I'll be reading 2 prompts today. Each of them will have a category. They'll have a $sign attributed to them. And all you have to do is answer first. It does not have to be in the form of a question. It just has to be the answer. The first thing that I see in the chat is the person that takes home the bacon for that question and gets put on the roster. So I need to pull the roster up real quick. And I'll get our 2 Jeopardy questions on the board. We actually have a double Jeopardy. That's kind of fun. This is still from last week, so we're on January 18th and the 19th. I assume these strange streaming times and surprise bonus streams are a way to strip me of my rank, and not only of Gotcha King, but as Jeopardy leader. It's true. It's true. It's very intentional. I've not forgotten about y'all's commands, by the way. Do not worry. I will make sure that they happen. But first, we got to get into this. So, the first Jeopardy question category is Martin Luther King Jr.'s life, as again, we are still from last week. This question is for $1,000 on the board of fun money. And the answer is, this Alabama city's National Voting Rights Museum includes exhibits on Martin Luther King Jr. and Jesse Jackson. This Alabama city's National Voting Rights Museum includes exhibits on Martin Luther King Jr. and Jesse Jackson. Selma is correct, Xando. Chat's in the clap for Xando. I actually need to rewrite down your score because I've got a new page here. Xando, you were at 7K, now you're at 8K. All right, our second, this is double Jeopardy, so this one is for $800 on the board here. Category is adjectives. And the answer, describing food fit to be eaten according to Jewish law. It can also mean on the up and up. Describing food. Ooh, Xando, you were nervous. Xando was nervous he was going to lose it, dude. Did you see that? He was so very close. Yeah, absolutely. Kosher is 100% the answer. That's great. All right. Continuing to progress the lead onward, we have on our leaderboard top 3. Number 1, of course, is Zando. Number 2, way behind now, is Sneaky Pigs with 3,500. And in third place is Hunter Fam Mom with an even 1K. Chats in the clap for another wonderful round of Jeopardy! Beep, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Can't hit that one. Not gonna hit that next one. I did it, yeah. Let's see. Now we're gonna do a top 10 games of 1995, and then we're gonna move into our game of the day, which again is A Space for the Unbound. I don't know why I'm so blurry. Drive me crazy. A Space for the Unbound. If you've not heard about this game, it is made by Toga. Oh yes, the Gachapons. You're right. I'll do that right now. It's made by Toj Studios. What's up, Addisons? How we doing? It's a independent indie game, emotional game, retro, 8-bit. I'm so excited for it. If you don't know, Togi, whatever their name is, they're also the people that made Coffee Talk. So, Coffee Talk. All right, we got 2 gotchas and a movie. Let's find out. How's everyone's 4th Monday of the week going? I feel that out of sense. Mine is going overwhelmingly. All right, we got a flower badge in here for Zando. My 4th Monday is buried in 7 to 8 inches of snow. Oh no. That's a lot of snow. That would be enough snow to... I think they would just like shut down North Carolina entirely. Trombone. 0 for 2 today. 0 for 2. Your is... movie game. So Zando gets a movie, and then you get a movie. All right, Zando, your movie game is up first. Let's find out what your movie prompt is. Folks, for those of you that don't know what movie game is, it is a combination of 2 movie titles. I'll be reading the description of that combined movie title. As Zando was the one that redeemed it, let Zando answer first. If Zando gets it incorrect, I'll open it up to the rest of the chat. Okay. Prompt is... I drink your milkshake. I drink it up, said Daniel Van Damme whilst fighting in a secretive underground martial arts competition. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up, said Daniel Van Damme whilst fighting in a secretive underground martial arts competition. Can I just default my movie to Zando since I'll have 0 clue? That's a Zando decision. I'm fine with that. That is correct. It is There Will Be Blood Sport. Chats in the clap. Chats in the clap for Zando. We love it. You love to see it. All right, and now your second. Yeah, that's funny because we were just talking about There Will Be Blood yesterday. Very funny. All right. Oh, okay. Nickelodeon shows what happens to a neighborhood when school gets canceled due to an abundance of frozen rain flakes that throw Earth into a second ice age filled with a 100% chance of Gyllenhaal. It's a good one. It's really good. Yeah. We don't need another reading, do we? Yep, that is Snow Day After Tomorrow. If you've never seen Snow Day, probably don't go back and watch it because it's probably not as good, but man, that was my favorite movie. That was my favorite movie growing up. I loved that stuff. No, I missed the remake. Is it any good at all? I can't imagine. It's got to have the nostalgia factor. Of the 4, have you seen Snow Day? Have you seen Snow Day? You're making me worried, Zando. That movie is formative of my personhood, really. You've only seen Bloodsport? You've never seen There Will Be Blood either? Zando, we got to get you on the movie scene. Guess who they got to play the snowplow guy? I have literally no idea. I also still want to know, you have not seen any Trombone? Well, you should see There Will Be Blood. That's a hard watch, but it's a good one. I don't know about Bloodsport. I can't really weigh in on if that movie is worth seeing. And Snow Day, like I said, probably don't go back and watch it because just probably don't. Yeah, I just can't imagine. No guesses. Seriously, who do I think Nick pulled as the snowplow guy for the new version? I don't even, who's trending right now? Who's in the trending scene as like the crazy grumpy person? I'm gonna go off the wall, and I'm gonna guess it was Billy Eichner, because he's not super Nickelodeon friendly, but I feel like he can lose his mind really well. Jerry Trainer. That does make a lot of sense. It was actually Dave Thomas, yes. Isn't Dave Thomas very much dead? Is he alive? Is Dave Thomas alive? I feel like Dave Thomas is surely dead. Is he not? Has he not gone on to greater glory? Yeah, very dead. Yeah. I feel like none of the founders of any of the fast foods are still kicking. Maybe Zaxby's. Maybe Zaxby's founder is still kicking. But fast food has been around for a while now. Jerry Trainer does make a lot of sense. It's a game I play with a lot of people. Oh, look at that. Rex? Rex was his name? What's so crazy about that is I just heard about another Rex over the weekend, and I just think it's weird that I've heard somebody with the name Rex twice in a week. I just think that's strange. Which isn't a lot of nickels, but it is weird that it happened twice. Okay. Let's do 1995. So for those of you that have never been for our top 10 list videos, I do all of these on Backlogged. Backlog is a video game collecting site that you're able to keep track of games that you play, how often you play them, all that sort of thing. I like it. I'm there as Nerd Pastor Nate. Feel free to find me and add me. But for these top 10 videos, what we do is I actually go through back all the games that I've already logged. I add all of my favorites from that particular year. Then I go back through their actual logging site and I go through the first 10 pages worth of games, adding all the games that I see along the way. Then I will show you guys on the screen what I've come up with for the list of however many make it to that breaking point. And then I'll go through and figure out of those games, what are the 10 that are the best. This is an incredibly subjective experience. These are the games that I think are the top 10 games from this year. It's gotten harder and harder the further and further back we've gone because I was born a year before this list. So I did not play many video games as a 1-year-old. And it's going to be tricky to know what's actually good and what's not as good. Odds are most of these are going to be connected to nostalgia, and that's about it. I can't really speak for the actual goodness of these games, if I'm being totally honest. So enjoy this process of us coming up with the games, and let us know down below in the comments what your picks might be, or if you're in the chat here on Twitch, also let me know. What's up, Steven? I'm awake. Wait. Gotta run. Maybe I'll come back around 1:30. We'd love to have you back, Xando. You try to get people to say who, so you can respond with Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's. But if the person catches on and responds with Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's, instead of who, they get the point. Ah, there's an honor system. If you were actually going to say someone else and then say who, you can't take advantage of that situation to get a point. Points reset every year. I see. Well, I'll have to start playing the game, I suppose. Okay. Movie game, Steven. Here is your prompt. A man fears he exchanged marital vows with a hatchet-wielding serial killer that traded places in prison with a very magnetic former summer camp maintenance man. Wowzers. Wowzers, that's a lot. Okay. A man fears he exchanged marital vows with a hatchet-wielding serial killer that traded places in prison with a very magnetic former summer camp maintenance man. That's really tough. Good luck. I mean, it's not like neither of the movies are that tough, but making them fit in your head. Okay. You've got the first title. What's the second one? Ooh, I think my mouse is dying. While you're thinking, I'm going to go ahead and go through our 1995. Go ahead and start sorting through them. We've worked our way back in time, you guys. That's pretty wild, isn't it? Oh, no. Oh, no. I have 8 games from this year. Whoa. Okay. And none of them are like my favorite games. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, well, definitely Time Crisis. I guess Yoshi's Island. I really don't like Yoshi's Island that much, but sure. Let's see. Virtua Cop 2. Yep. Is this the Command and Conquer for the N64? Because I liked that Command and Conquer. Man, my mouse is about to drive me crazy. Stop. Stop it. I have no mouth and I must scream. Sure. Yes, you can certainly hear it one more time. And Chrono Trigger. Okay. Now let's go through their list. Go through the first 10 pages. And then I'll show you guys what I've got. This always makes me think of Persona. Oh! Diddy's Conquest was this year too. Okay. Mega Man X3 I definitely never played. I'm gonna have to go get new batteries. This is about to drive me insane. Alright, I'm gonna read your prompt one more time. Someone was telling me about I Have No Mouth the other day. Sounds horrifying. Yeah, the game is definitely very different from the book experience, but the short story's great. A man fears he exchanged marital vows with a hatchet-wielding serial killer that traded places in prison with a very magnetic former summer camp maintenance man. Let me know if you want the hint for the second one. I'm gonna go change batteries real quick because this is about to drive me wild. Wild. Yo, what's up, Chovy? How we doing? Welcome back. Good to see ya. Hope you've been well. Chovy is our excellent music curator over on the Discord. The hint for the second one is, you know what I mean, Vern? You know what I mean, Vern? Dang, you got it. So I married an axe murderer. Ernest goes to camp. Chats in the clap for Steven. Chats in the clap. Got it. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. Never played Terranigma. Kirby's Dream Land 2. I guess we'll put that on there even though I've never played it. Typically my rule for this is I have to have played it, but it's getting hard to find games that I've played, you guys. For real. Ooh, Super Space Cadet. 3D Pinball Space Cadet. That's probably going to take the #1 slot. Not going to lie to you guys right now. MK3. Clock Tower. Oh my goodness, what an icon. Probably not making it to the top 10, but what an icon. Another Twisted Metals on here. Ooh, what Toy Story was that? Is that the N64 one? Oh my gosh, it's an awful game that I played so much. All right, let's see, that's page 1. I've never really been into the Worms games. Oh, Mario Picross. I can actually add that because I have played it now. I definitely did not play it in 1995. But I have absolutely played it. Okay. Oh, All Real Monsters is on here. Man, that was a tough platformer. Gargoyles had a game? How did I not know Gargoyles had a game? Knuckles Chaotix. Heck yes. We're on page 3. Moving into page 4, seeing if I recognize anything else on here. Nothing yet. Nothing at all on page 4. See, these just aren't the games. These aren't my games! These aren't my games. Aw, Jumpstart games, man. Fun. I do feel like I remember an Animaniacs game. That looks familiar. Waterworld had a game? No kidding. There was a Kirby baseball game. So many games I've just never even heard of. Judge Dredd. What is CEO? Dude, there were some weird games. There were some weird games. Johnny Mnemonic. There's all these games that I didn't know had games, that's for sure. You Don't Know Jack was in 1995? Man, Jackbox has had a long career. One more page. Last page. Nothing. Not a thing. Yikes. Yikes, this is about to be tough. All right. I'll show you guys what I've got. I got 13 games to go through. So Trombone, I will now show my screen. I always hold off until it's my list, because if I show you guys the first 10 pages, there is a chance of some adult content. So these are our 13 games. We're going to organize them into a top 10 here. Off the wall, not related to anything. Do you remember Gex the Gecko? I do remember Gex. I didn't play Gex much. I think I played it on like the store models at the Kmart. Like where they had the TVs and they had like the PlayStations hooked up underneath them or whatever. But since I never had a PS1, I'm pretty sure Gex was a PS1. Yeah, Space Cadet is absolutely going to be bumped up pretty high there. Just off the bat, we're going to go ahead and put Chrono Trigger up there, Space Cadet up there, Conquest up there, Chaotix up there. I've really got to look at some of these to make sure there's some of the ones that are good. I really liked Picross. Just for now, we'll put that up that high. I need to look at the rest of these to see if I can remember what they are. So we're going to go real quickly here. Again, for those of you that have never been to Backlogged, this is how the actual like platform looks, and you're able to click on these games, and you can go to their their video game database file to see more about them. So let's see which Command & Conquer this is first. We're going to go here to IGDB. See which one it is. Oh, yes. Man, I played the heck out of this game. Oh, I loved this game. Oh, yeah, that's definitely going to be on this list. Let's see what Twisted Metal this was. Look at their roster. Oh, that's the kind of an iconic one. Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, man, I even recognize the like select screen. Ooh, that's probably got to stay on there. Okay, let's see which Toy Story this is. Please don't be the N64 one. Good, okay, no, I have no trouble throwing this one away. If it was N64 one, I would have had a tough time. But I got no problem taking that one away. Let's look at which Dreamland this is. Oops, for some reason that went to a different window. I just never played these games. I'm sorry to say it, but I never played them. Okay. Yeah, let's take Kirby off of there. Take Toy Story off of there. So there we go. So we almost have 10 to just work our way through. So we just got to figure out which one is which. And where they land on things. Chrono Trigger's definitely going to the top. Space Cadet is real fun, but I don't know if it's as fun as Conquest or Chaotix. I might even put Chaotix above Conquest. That's probably going to get me in trouble. I'm not a huge Donkey Kong fan. Space Cadet is definitely better than Picross. Is Picross better than Time Crisis? Time Crisis was pretty good. Honestly, Virtua Cop and Time Crisis are like neck and neck for me. Command & Conquer's probably better than Space Cadet. I'm probably going to have to put Twisted... As much as I love a visual novel, I think Harlan Ellison's got to go down. So we're going to do honorable mention is going to be... If I could spell... Butte. Ayo! 22 months. Bweesh! That is wild, my friend. Thank you, thank you. Spin that sub wheel. Clockwise, counterclockwise, and how hard. Okay, let's give this list another look and see what we think. and where all these games land on this. Is Chrono Trigger better than Knuckles Chaotix? I think so. Is Chaotix better than Donkey Kong Country? I'm worried I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. I feel like I might have to change them. I might have to entertain it. I think Conquest has got to go above. I'm sorry. Conquest, Chaotix. Chaotix better than Command and Conquer? No. Command and Conquer better than Chaotix? Yes. Chaotix better than Pinball? Yes. Pinball better than Picross? Yes. Picross better than Time Crisis? I think so. I definitely played it more. Oh no! Did we already have somebody come in and say something untoward? Time Crisis better than Virtua Cop? I feel like I remember Time Crisis more. Virtua Cop better. I'm gonna say Yoshi's Island's probably better. Time Crisis better than Yoshi's Island. Sure. Yoshi's Island better than Time Crisis, better than Virtual Cop, yes. Twisted Metal better than Virtual Cop, yes. Yes, yes, that's the list. This is it. We've done it. By golly, we've done it. We've made the list. Let me add all these games to my played list because so many of these I didn't even know were things or had forgotten I'd played them. All right, so this is our top 10 games of 1995. Only one honorable mention of I Have No Mouth, But I Must Scream. But the top 10 list order is Chrono Trigger takes the lead, followed closely behind by Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, then Command & Conquer, Knuckles Chaotix, 3D's Pinball Space Cadet, which I might go find and download right now, Mario Picross, Yoshi's Island, Time Crisis, Twisted Metal, Virtua Cop 2. Folks, with that, I'm going to turn to YouTube. So everybody in the chat, feel free to say hi to YouTube. Hey, YouTube. Folks, if you are watching us over on our YouTube channel, I thank you for watching. If you made it this far in the video, odds are that you liked this one. So let us know that you liked this video by clicking that thumbs up, liking, letting us know that this is the type of content that you want to see more of. Doesn't really matter if you like my list or not, because this is very subjective, but if you want to tell me that I'm wrong, feel free to do that down in the comment section down below. If you tell me I'm wrong, though, you have to promise that in order to tell me I'm wrong, you also have to tell me what you think the number one game of 1995 would be instead, or the top 3 games, or whatever you want to put down there below. Let us know down below, folks. Regardless of whether or not you do smash that subscribe button, regardless of whether or not you come check us out on Twitch whenever we do these live, regardless of whether or not you enjoyed this video or not, we believe 3 things to be true about every single one of you out there watching this at any point in time. We believe that number 1, God loves you. Number 2, we love you. And number 3, we believe that you, yes, you, no matter who you are, you matter. You are a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, with that, until the next time that I see ya, be well. Bye-bye! Welcome back, Twitch. Welcome back. How we doing? How we doing? All right, I've got to do a spin wheel for Bweesh. Clockwise medium. Got it. Where's it gonna stop? Green. Sticker pack. Sticker pack. I'll write it down. I'm gonna write all these things down. Gotta write them down. Gotta keep up, 'cause I need a man. And my heart is stuck on you. It is not a ranking of King's Crown, but it does look very Bojesque, doesn't it? It does look quite Bojesque. No, that is actually our Among Us crown, because no, not Among Us, Fall Guys. Oh my goodness, what am I? Fake fan. Fake fan. No, that is our Fall Guys trophy. So we won. We are winners. We are winners of the, let's see if I can get to focus. We are winners of the Fall Guys Championship, the greatest community of all time. And so in order to win that, we also won a crown. Crown. Everybody on the team won a crown. Yep. The greatest. Fake fan. So fake. It was a landslide victory. Yeah, Rye Guy and Rain Plus Cat just brought it. They brought it. Okay. By the way, I learned an interesting fact about your favorite Pokemon. I hope it's not that it's pronounced delivered. Because if you tell me that it's pronounced delivered, I'm going to lose it. I refuse. I refuse it. Even if it makes so much sense, I refuse it. No, it's his tail. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So whenever I was doing the Delibird art, that was whenever I learned that. Yes. It's a very fun fact. Disturbing, a little gross, but Pokemon really is a little gross once you really start thinking too deeply about it. It does get pretty gross. Folks, we're playing a game called A Space for the Unbound today. I'm very excited about this game. I have had this game in my periphery ever since it was debuted as a demo at Ludonaricon. So once Ludonaricon announced that it was a game that was coming out, I wishlisted this one, and now that it is officially out, I'm so excited to finally get to play it with you guys. I never played the demo, so I'm going in totally blind. As I understand it, it is a love story between two supernatural characters in Indonesia. So we're going to learn all about Indonesia today. I don't know much beyond that as far as what the story is about. I just know they're supernatural. I think they are in love. I don't know that for a fact. Maybe you get to decide whether they are in love or not. And that it is set in Indonesia. Those are the things that I know. What's up, Stained? But yeah, we're going to play some Space for the Unbound. I'm very excited about this. This really has been on my backlog forever, and I'm so amped. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I did want to go ahead and say probably no stream tomorrow. I know that originally we'd had a podcast down, but a little gentle announcement. We will be having a live podcast airing next Friday. All I got from that intro is you found out about it at Leoplorodon convention. It's a magical Leoplorodon, Charlie. Magical Leoplorodon. Whoa, look. Look over there, Charlie. It's a Leoplorodon. Lurk, see you, Perry. All right, so we're gonna just do it. Yeah, we're just gonna jump right in. Let's just jump right into it. I don't know if I need a controller or not. I guess I'll turn on the controller. If it would be better on mouse and keys, I might just swing on over to mouse and keys. But if we got the ability for this cool controller hookup, then why not use it? Yeah. Boink. Hey, there he is. All right, let's get right on into the news. I'm gonna go ahead and pause Spoofy. Everybody say bye, Spoofy. But yes, we've got a lot of exciting stuff happening over the course of the next couple weeks. A lot of new things coming out, a lot of new experiences dropping. So I think we're gonna have a ton of fun, and I hope that you're here for the fun, because I am. I'm here for the fun. Should I be seeing something? Hey, there it is. All right, let's see if you guys can see it. It'll come up eventually, I'm sure. Hey, big money. English. Mujikan. Hoojikan. There's Toga, Togu Productions. Okay, this game contains depictions of depression, anxiety, and suicide. Please be aware, if you are experiencing a mental health crisis or problem, then you need to contact a medical professional right away. I have no knowledge of this game beyond the fact that it's going to be an emotional game and the fact that it is going to be a game about supernatural friends or lovers or something about that. And it's set in Indonesia. That's all I got. A Space for the Unbound. Let's see if I can set some settings. Okay, so it doesn't have anything for streamers, so we should be all good. Let me know if it's too quiet. Not quiet enough. Cat. I love seeing a cat. Oh! It was a cold night. The South Star Princess was weak, and the cat was worried. Meow, Princess. Mew looks sick. Are you okay? The cat meowed. The princess looked up to the night sky and thought, it's time to say goodbye, to leave the world behind. Oh no. Not gonna lie, it feels a little loud on my end, so you guys let me know. I have something for you, my dearest friend. A parting gift. I'll show you my last miracle. Something shone brightly in the palm of her hand. Okay, Google, set a 5-minute timer. It was the miracle. The cat was stunned, in awe, but it cried too. Oh, meow, princess, please don't. I can't let you go, the cat meowed. The princess just smiled and stared into the cat's teary eyes. Everyone wanted my miracles, but you're the only one who stayed by my side. Thank you for being my friend. A parting gift of your sight and orientation. Yep. That's all right. Thankfully, hopefully this will just be mostly reading. Snap, I can't. Me neither. I don't know who these voices are. Is this like a children's bedtime story? It's giving me bedtime story vibes, not gonna lie. It was a warm, bright night. The glowing South Star Princess turned into stardust and was scattered to the skies above. But her light stayed within a pretty yellow flower. Left behind and alone, the cat hugged the flower to itself. Oh, princess, the world doesn't deserve you. I know. So, what do you think, Mr. Co-writer? It was great. Your story was so touching. I can't wait to listen to the rest of it. The world, the adventure, and the characters, I love them all. But the princess, I love her the most. Oh, they're cute. Oh, phew. I'm glad you liked it. I was kind of worried, not really confident about it at all. At first, I was going to make the princess turn into a comet when she passed away. Then she would have destroyed the planet and devoured all the creatures that stole her miracles. That would be a brutal way to end this story, so I decided to scrap that. Yeah, I think that's too violent. It doesn't fit in at all. By the way, where'd you get the idea for the comet? Well, it was last night. I was really worried and upset. I cast my eyes to the sky for inspiration, and a comet flashes suddenly across the horizon, burning bright through the pitch-dark night. Oh, jeez. I wish I was awake last night. But still, I can't believe it ends like this. What a sad fate for the South Star Princess. Do you want to hear the final chapter? Final chapter? There's more to it? Yep. It'll be more like an epilogue, but we can think of it as the final chapter. I wanted to tell a story about the cat's final adventure. The cat will, the yellow flower, they're about to, weird. What's wrong? All of a sudden, I can't think of anything. My mind's gone blank. It was on the tip of my tongue. Hey, why don't we go out and get some fresh air? It may help clear your mind. Okay. Oh no! Interested! I'm not interested! Oh, bummer, my friend. No, thank you. No, thank you. What am I supposed to do? Oh, what am I doing? Is this not controller supported? What's happening? What's happening right now? What's it? Oh! There we go. Trombone. Oh, there's a lot of options here. Like you said, let's go outside and get some fresh air. Okay. I like this art a lot. Art looks real nice. Where were we writing this? Is that an abandoned subway? How about now? Feeling any better? I don't know. What happened? Do you have writer's block? I don't know. It feels scary to think about. Dark and scary. It's so scary that I haven't been able to figure out what kind of story I want to tell yet. Yep, that's writer's block, all right. Hey, maybe it's time to use the magic red book. The magic red what? The magic red book. Have you forgotten about it? The book which contains the spell to dive into people's hearts and rid them of their inner turmoil. Oh, yeah. The magic red book. Of course. Yeah, it comes in handy now and again. Where is it? I forgot where I put it. I'm sorry. I'm so careless. Hey, no worries. I'll help you look for the magic red book. I might have left it around here. Keep your eye out for something red. Okay, I'm on it. That's red. Oh, look at how good that looks, too. Is it right here? Tell me it's 10 feet away. I found a red book. This must be the magic red book. Look at that shadow. Shadows are real nice. Hey, is this what you're looking for? The magic red book. You found it. Go on then. Try to use the book. But I'm afraid of using it by myself. Oh, you. Can you help me, bountiful, magical, mystical co-writer? Please, 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 please. Whoa, calm down. Okay, I'll help. Hey, they spelled whoa right. Bonus points. 5 stars. Best game ever. Best game ever made because they know how to spell whoa. You'll see a dancing flower above someone's head. Dancing flower, huh? Yeah, believe me, that's the power of the magic red book. Then you just open the book. Is that it? No dancing or chanting required? That's it. Hurry up and try it already. All right, we're gonna get to this. Get rid of whatever it is you're scared of. And to find the final chapter of the story I want to tell. Flower. Link started. I'm scared. Too scared to think about the final chapter, about what I might find. I'm afraid to find out what lies beneath. What if it turns out bad? Everyone will think I'm a weirdo. Just think, I've never finished anything before. This final chapter. Will I ever be able to finish it? Ooh, relate. Hashtag mood. Picked up a key. I wonder what it opens. I don't know. Could it be the giant locked door? Aw, no! No! It was a warm, bright night. The glowing South Star Princess turned into stardust and was scattered to the skies above. But her light stayed within a pretty yellow flower. Ooh, the epilogue from the heavens. I have an idea. It could be useful. Man, we got 2 spammers in a row, dude. That's crazy. This story. I'm still afraid, but this, should I tell this story? Could I finish it? Yes. This is it. Whoa, I just realized how far we've walked. Yeah, amazing, isn't it? It is. It feels like I'm walking in outer space. Kind of like an out-of-body experience. You know what? We should come up with a cool name for when you use the magic red book. I think Space Dive sounds cool. What do you think? Space Dive? Yeah, that sounds cool and informative. Yeah. You dive into the space of my heart. Space Dive! So, did the Space Dive actually help? Yes, I finally decided what the final chapter will be. Oh wow, cool, for real? Yes, it's the Big Blue Star. The Big Blue Star? Yes, the Big Blue Star. It's called her. Oh, it called her. When the South Star Princess died, her final wish was to go back there to the place where she belongs. And the cat will be the one to escort her back? Exactly. Oh, wow. That sounds like it'll be an exciting adventure to draw and write. Mr. Co-Writer's insight is, as always, extremely helpful. Nah, don't mention it. You're the one who came up with the Star Princess's story in the first place. Well, I had to. This is our story. We made it together, right? If you say so, well. Hooray! Hooray! To the final chapter. Yes, the final chapter. Is there anything else we need to finish the story? Yeah, we need a spaceship. Whoa, a spaceship? Yes. In the end, the Star Princess and the cat will explore the spaces together with new spaceship. And the good news is, I've already built the ship myself. What? When did you... Can I see it? Where is it? I've been working on it after school for the last 3 weeks. I was going to surprise you. Of course, I built it in my super secret workshop across the river so you wouldn't find it. You crossed the river by yourself? That's too dangerous. Oh, don't worry about it. I've been back and forth loads of times now, and look, I'm still here, aren't I? Anyway, I need something important to finish the ship. Something with a magical power to propel it through space. And that thing is? The Star Princess's magic wand, of course. But I left it at home. Oh, well, that sucks. Should we go and pick it up? No, I can't go there right now. My house is not good right now. My father, he's... Hey, don't worry about it. The magic wand is in your room, right? I'll go get it. Are you sure? I mean, you've done so much already. And if someone sees you, they might think you're breaking in. No worries. I'm stealthy like a cat, you know. I'm sorry for making you do this. Seriously, don't worry about it. I'll help as much as I can, but you have to promise me you won't cross the river by yourself. We started this together, and we'll finish it together, okay? Yeah, you're right. I promise I'll be waiting for you. Do you remember where my bedroom is? It's on the 2nd floor. The magic wand should be somewhere on my table. Oh, one more thing. If you get lost, my cat Bosk will always know where to go. Meow. Copy that. Good luck. I'll be waiting for you here. You should wait for me at base camp. It's not safe to wander around here. I guess you're right. But the air is so nice and fresh here. Might give me some inspiration for the final chapter. All right, just be quick, okay? Okay. Oh, one last thing. You said that already, you know. Don't worry, I'll be back before you know it. No, that's not it. I want to say something else. What's up? Thank you for everything. You're the best co-writer I've ever had. No need to be so melodramatic now. I'll be back soon. I don't know if that's true. I'm worried for you. What's gonna happen to you? Well, you can pet the cat. Best game. Goated game. 10 out of 10 game. Can't go that way. He also kind of looks like he's like stomping mad. I'm gonna tell him. A good piece of my mind. Oh, don't. You think I can't see you right there? You don't want to talk? Ooh, look at that lighting. Look at that lighting effect on him. That's really nice. Can I pet this cat too? I love the cats. I love cats. I love every kind of cat. Can't love every cat. Can't love every cat. Hey, friend. Hey, slow down, dude. This traffic's bad enough as it is. You want me to hit your fancy car, huh? Bye. Whoops. Oh, just yep. That's kind of what I figured. Fresh fries and all, hot and dry. Oh, thank you. Behold, the great comet of doom has torn up the sky. The stars are dying, the sky is falling. Oh, wandering soul, did you see last night's news? The comet of doom has finally come. Don't you want salvation, my dear child? For only 1 million rupiah, you could own this spirit-infused gemstone made from meteorite. It's a holy talisman that will save you from the cataclysm. What? You don't believe me? How dare you? This gemstone was crafted by the famous oracle, Jayabaya himself. What? You haven't got any money? Well, I guess it's your destiny to be cursed then. Oh, what's up? Where'd that brat go? He still hasn't done his homework. We do not care about you and your son. Sup, dude? What do you think? I'm sorry? About this Kong beat. It's a mixtape I recorded myself. So, what do you think? Yeah, cool. Totally awesome. Dude! No, right? Not everybody appreciates Kong song. Kong song. I don't know. Especially these days. It's an old music genre brought over by the colonials and then perfected by us locals. It's soothing, you know? Perfect accompaniment for people looking to relax and escape the world for a while. Hey, you know what? You can take my demo tape. My treat. Huh? Oh, no, you don't have to. Please, dude, it's such a rare occasion. Meeting a fellow Song music fan, you know? Besides, I can always make another mixtape whenever I want to. Thank you very much, I guess. I don't really understand Kuruntsang music, though. I don't even know how to pronounce it, so... You know, here we are. Ladder? Cool. So, buddy. In today's news, another interstellar comet was sighted flying over the city. It's the third comet spotted this week. Neither the government nor the National Space Agency have released an official statement regarding those peculiar events. Huh. Looks like the world's gonna end soon, huh? Lucky me, I'm already married. Weird comment. Her house should be on this block. Uh-oh, somebody's here. Hello, Miss Dewey. Are you going to the meeting too? Why don't we walk over there together? Of course. You're not bringing your daughter with you. No. What's the matter? Is there something wrong? My daughter. Lately, she's been afraid of going to school. And my husband, well, things aren't going well with his boss. He's been a little stressed over the money we've had to borrow to get Nirmala into school, and he's taking it all out on Nirmala. Oh, today she locked herself in a room and refused to talk to us. I really don't know what to do. Oh my, I'm sorry to hear that. Why is she scared of going to school? I don't know yet. I want to talk to them about all this, but I really don't know what to say. Well, why don't we go to the meeting a little early so we can talk about it on the way? Yes, that's a good idea, thank you. Don't worry, you can share your problems with me. That's what neighbors are for, right? They're gone, now's my chance. This must be your house. The gate is locked, but her father is likely inside. It'll be dangerous to go through the front door. Maybe it'd be easier if I pretended I was here to visit her, but I can't risk letting her father know that she sneaked out of the house. Besides, he'd think I was a creepy high school student, stalking an underage kid. This is all too risky, but I have to get that magic wand for her. What should I do? Hey, how long have you been up there? Oh yeah, that window on the second floor must lead directly to her room. Now, how am I supposed to reach the second floor? I guess I gotta go get the ladder? Is that something I'm allowed to just take? Hey kid, what are you doing with my ladder? I'm just amazed by your ladder, sir. Wow, this ladder looks really sturdy. And chrome. You been smoking something funny, kid? I hope you don't cause me any trouble. Nobody touches my ladder. Can't you see I'm already busy enough? I wish I could get some sleep, though. I could definitely use this ladder to get to Nirmala's room. Do I have anything else I could use? Yeah. Oh, the magic red book. Oh, okay, neat. Space dive. Link start. All right, inside the Mind Palace we go. Won't turn off. What a strange clock. Cassette tape. Boom jams. Whoa, that flower's blooming. I wonder what would happen if I made all the rest bloom too. Won't turn off. What a strange clock. Nothing I can do? Found a baton. Should I resort to violence? Smash that! Take a nap, my guy. Oh, this feels good. I'm gonna close my eyes just for a minute. You can't hurt, right? I actually made myself yawn. I yawned so good that I made myself yawn. Wow, he's fast asleep already? Thanks to that magic red book, I guess. He won't mind if I borrow this ladder then, will he? Time to get that magic wand. Nice. There it is, the Star Princess Magic Wand. I still can't believe how she managed to imagine all these wonderful things. What a creative, precious kid. All right, I've got the magic wand. Brat! Open the door! You ungrateful kid! How dare you lock the door? You're skipping school again, aren't you? Open the door! You're still doodling and writing that stupid nonsense, aren't you? Have you got any idea how much money I had to borrow just to get you into a decent school? And this is how you repay me, you spoiled brat? Oh, snap. Things are getting tense around here. I better get out of here before he smashes this door open. It's starting to rain. Nirmala should be waiting for me at base camp. Can I take the ladder back? Guess not. Rain's getting heavier. I have a bad feeling about this. I hope she's reached base camp by now. Is that our little subway station, I assume? Man, that animation is just really nice. I got a feeling she's not going to be here. Where is she? She's not here yet? Help! Huh? Someone, anyone help! Help somebody! That voice, don't tell me. Hey, help me! Help, I can't swim! Nirmala! Help me, I can't swim! I can't swim either. Hang on, I have to find something to reach you. Just get here quickly, please. I don't think I can hold on much longer. I'm scared. Try to grab this. Cool CG. No! Is she gonna die? Is this gonna start with a child's death? No! Sorry, I was startled by that thunder. Don't worry, I'll get you out of there. Hold on. All right, try to grab the book. Easy, easy, just a little bit. Adma! I'm gonna die? Who's dying? I'm coming to get you. We'll make it. Together. We have a story to finish, right? No. I don't know if I like this game. Oh no! What have I done? Oh, I'm already sad. I've been playing this game for what, like 10 minutes? 20 minutes? And I already have chills down my spine? Okay, well, at least somebody's got me in their hands. Got the whole world. Is that my soul? A space for the unbound. Okay. That was the prologue. Whew. What a prologue. Adma. Adma, hey! Wake up, you lazy bum! Who is speaking? Is that her? She's older. Ugh. Where am I? At school, silly. School? Why am I? Don't tell me you slept so deeply you lost your memories. Atma? You still remember who I am, don't you? Who are you? Really? Are you acting like this just because I didn't give you my snack at recess? I'm not... It's Raya, you sleepyhead. Look at you, forgetting your girlfriend's name right after you've opened your eyes. Never do that again, or I'll get real mad at you. Yes, ma'am. Girlfriend, huh? I'm still so drowsy. That was a really wild dream. What time is it? Class is already over. You were having a really good sleep. Was I? I'm so tired. Doesn't feel like I slept at all. What happened? I had this weird dream. It's haunting me. Weird dream? I hope I wasn't in it. Actually, you were. Your face filled the entire sky. And you had this awful, creepy smile. What is that supposed to mean? Beats me. Huh. I spend the whole day taking notes in class for you, and you call me creepy? That's very rude, you know. You've been taking notes for me? Of course. Here. Whoa. No! Why'd they spell it wrong there? Don't spell it right and then spell it wrong. Apparently it's only spelled correctly in Dream World. That's so nice of you. Thank you, Raya. What would you do without me, huh? Raya. Oh, Raya! Mr. Agung? There's a lot of names. I apologize if I pronounced them incorrectly. Can I help you? You still haven't done your future plan consultation. Oh, right. I'm sorry, sir. Come to the staff room as soon as possible. A model student like yourself shouldn't miss an opportunity to prepare for the future. Right. You haven't done it either, have you, Atma? Haven't what? Just make sure you two fill out this form. I'll wait for you in the staff room. Will do, sir. Hey, what is that? What is what? What is the future plan consultation? A meeting we seniors have with teachers to discuss what we plan to do after graduation. It's about grades, subjects, the universities we're interested in. I'm so in trouble. Why? I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow. How am I supposed to know what to do after I graduate? Atma, what about you? I haven't decided on anything yet. I'm confused. I don't like it when adults involve themselves in my future. Yeah, me neither. They just want to make us into one of them. I want to choose my future, not one the adults would find acceptable or beneficial. Future you're still confused about. Yeah. I don't feel like doing it right now. Then what should we do with the form? Let's see. What if we change this into this? Handsome Amma and Raya's epic bucket list. Bucket list? Yes. Write down anything you want to do, even if it's silly. It's planning for the future, right? What should I write? Whatever comes to mind. Let me write something first, then. What movie should we watch? Doesn't matter, as long as we go together. It's a date then. You bet. It's your turn. What do you want to do? Yes, pet the fluffiest animal known to man. What is the fluffiest animal? I'm not sure. Maybe I need to pet all the animals in town to find the fluffiest one. Legend says the Fluffosaurus still roams the streets. I think you spend too much time daydreaming, Atma. Your turn. What's next? You like cats, huh? Their fur, their purr, their teeny tiny paws. Cats are the best. Agreed. I can purr too if you want. Gross! Okay, back off, Atma. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. Write your next one. Yeah, probably. Huh. I didn't realize you would enjoy crying over something. It's not all about the crying. It's about listening to music or reading a book and feeling something so strong that it moves you. Have you ever felt something like that before? I haven't been moved by reading or listening to something in a while, actually. Over to you. Want to write something else? Something delicious. You're craving something? Yes. Kind of, I want to... Entirely? A big one? The biggest one. Thanks for the lurk, Stained. Okay, you're up now. Future Fighters. Future Fighter? Yeah, it's my favorite arcade game. It's notoriously hard to beat the high score. Oh, good luck with that, hero. What's next, Raya? A party! What sort of party? Not sure, but we're going to have so much fun. You can do the next one. Oh, that bubblegum brand? I had no idea, so I was going to find out. Each wrapper contains a letter from the word Yoman, right? And are you that keen to collect them? They say if you gather all the letters, you get a grand prize. What's the grand prize? A bike. Can you ride a bike? No. I mean, the thrill is in collecting the letters. If you say so. What's next? Bright lights dancing in the dark. Aren't they romantic? Yeah, I love the smell when they burn. Now it's your turn. I guess that's all I can do. Bottle caps. Only 20? That's not many. Unless maybe they're unique ones. I used to have a collection of my favorite bottle caps. I've lost them, and I want to start collecting again. Are they valuable? Well, they're, how can I put it? Sentimental. Is there anything else to add to our bucket list? I can't think of anything special. Special? How about we make the last one on the list something like this? What treasure? It's mysterious. That's what makes it special. It would be great if we could present this list for the future consultation. Why the long face? Well, we're almost done with high school. It feels like when high school ends, the whole world might go with it. I don't want to think about this stupid consultation thing. How about we do something from the list right now? Now as in right now? Yeah, it'll be fun. Come on. For your girlfriend, please? What do you want to do? It's been a while since we went to the movies together. Yes, let's skip the future consultation. Skip school? Mr. Gung just said you were a model student. I'm a model student, not a slave. I want to skip school once in a while. Well, if you say so. Come on, I'm looking forward to skipping the consultation session. You skip classes now and then, Atma, so how do you do this? Class skipping thing. First, by not announcing it loudly. Okay, now what? Grab your bag. We're out of here. We're gonna walk straight out? Yes, be confident about it and... Okay, don't let any teachers see you. Hey, wait for me! Whoop. Where did Raya go? She's surprisingly fast. Oh no! Ouch! What the... Crap, I crashed into someone. I'm sorry, are you hurt? I'm fine, thank you. Are you okay? Fine, I guess. Oh, look, you dropped your book. Huh? Atma and Ren. This isn't my book. Strange. It's not mine either. Wait, somehow I feel like I've seen this book before. What do you mean? Was it in my dream? Not sure. Your name is on the cover. What? Atma. That's you, right? Yeah, but are you sure it's not yours? Let's see. If I remember correctly, I only brought the clothes I'm wearing, my glasses, and my hairband. I didn't bring any books. All of mine are still in the library. Maybe somebody else dropped it? It has your name on it, though. That's a fair point. Saying you don't own this book is an interesting statement. The book is objectively a real object. It has your full name on it, but you don't believe you own it? Maybe you have short-term memory loss. It's usually caused by a violent impact to the head. But I was walking from the schoolyard to the library at a moderate speed. Crashing into a girl much weaker than you shouldn't cause any head trauma. If it's not memory loss, you are either delusional or you're lying. I'm sorry, sometimes I talk too much. You don't say. All I'm saying is that the most possible situation is that you own that book, even though you don't remember it, Atma. Okay. Wait, you know my name? We're in the same class. You don't remember? Huh, really? You're always asleep. The fact that you don't know me isn't surprising. It's still rather rude. This girl, is she looking down on me? Nonsense, I know you. You are, classmate. Hey, you. You don't know, do you? No, I do not. Sorry, may I know your name? My name is Marin, or Marin. I'm Atma. I know that. Well, I've got to go. Take care of your books, Atma. But it's not... Well, I mean... Sure! What is this book? I don't remember seeing what's written inside my dream. A little peek won't hurt anyone, right? Objectives. The owner of this book must be a determined person, unlike me. Oh well, this is a good place to keep the bucket list I made with Raya. I feel motivated already. Oh, a map! Someone drew a map of Loca City. Looks neat, too. Inventory. Maybe I could write down what I have in my possession, since I'm a little forgetful. A list of collectibles, huh? And I can stick photographs next to them. This is a nice way to preserve precious memories. Huh? Strange. There's a lot of missing pages in this section. Pages have been torn out. I don't know whether Marin was right or not. Maybe it had something to do with that nightmarish dream I had. I guess it doesn't hurt to keep a notebook around. I could even use the power of my dream with this. Lame joke. This is real life, after all. Note, wet paint, do not cross. Raya, where are you? Has she already left? How dare you try to skip the afternoon class? Crap. No, we're not. We're just, going to the toilet, sir. Yes, Mr. Agong, and looking for snacks. You all know why you've attended the afternoon class, don't you? For your own good. But other kids skip it too. Shh, moron. What, and you let them leave? You're all still young. Have you ever thought about what your future might be like if you spend your youth like this? Do you know who likes classes? Corrupt officials. You want to end up as embezzlers? Go to jail? Disappoint your parents? Afternoon classes are just glorified detention. I can hear you. Well, I can't leave school through the gate. Hearing Mr. Agong wailing like a banshee is enough to drive anyone away. I should find another way. I gotta pet this cat first, right? Cherry! I get to name them? That's really fun. Did you hear the librarian removed all the comic books from the library? What a party pooper. Comic books are literature too. Amen. Amen, Vidya game. Too real. Oh no. Kids these days don't care about their future. Where is that Otma? He won't escape, not this time. Why are teachers looking for me? I have to be careful. If I'm careful, I could sneak past the teachers behind this wall. Worth a try. It's a cute little stealth mechanic. Oh, hey, you guys are cool, huh? I want to get this shiny thing first. Koala Cola. Take it, that's a bottle cap. Hey. Hey, Amma, want to join our club? What club? Well, no mountain is too tall and no cliff too steep to stop our adventure. We are the hiking club. Not if I have to do that spiel every time I meet someone. You're a shy one, I see. No need to be shy about loving mountains and nature. Yeah, sure. If only you could see us in action, we would entice you with the very art of the climb. Why can't I? You can show me right now. It's the new guy. He keeps missing our practice to sleep, of all things. He has all our climbing equipment. It's a disaster. I told you it's a bad idea to give the new guy inventory duty. Cat. Your name is... Slam it. Oh, I see. I guess I gotta go get their climbing equipment to climb out of school. Yep. 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 Got it. Easy. So where is he sleeping? Where could this guy be sleeping? In here? Whoopsie. Oh, it's you again. There's the sleeping guy. You don't mind if I borrow this rope, right? Thanks, man. Nice. It's done. Hey, you. Hey, remember me? Very funny. Marin, right? Oh, that's it? Okay. Blink, blink, blink. I keep wanting to hit A there. That doesn't work. The teachers are gone? Sweet. Got your climbing gear. Do I need it or can I just go? Nothing beats a rope to climb over a wall to skip school. Bye. That was unexpectedly difficult. Maybe I should consider joining that climbing club. But, I'm out of school now. I have to meet up with Raya. What was that? Nowadays, people throw things away without a care in the world. This old roof tile looks sturdy enough. I reckon I'm gonna have to use it for something, huh? Whoa! Where you think you're going, buddy? Shoo! Right. That's cool. That's fine. Cat! Your name is now Mustache. Mustache the cat. Excuse me, cat, I mustache you a question. Now sit. He's not listening to me today. What's going on, boy? You've been restless all day. Hey, Atma. Hello. Mr. Gung was looking for you and your lady friend. Oh, crap. Don't worry, I won't tell you two are here on a date, smooching and everything. That's a colorful way to put it, but thank you. What's that? Huh? There's a torn envelope here. The letter's nowhere to be found. From Setawan, from Sri. Well, the stamp is still intact. Don't mind if I do. Cat! There you are. You took way too long. I had to take a detour, you know. The teachers launched a manhunt to find me. You shouldn't be surprised. Skipping school is all about the thrill, right? But still, you took way too long. How long you been waiting? I had my way. Maybe I'm talented at skipping school. You agree as well, huh? Good kitty. Hey, why don't we buy some cat food for her? Where can we buy cat food? I heard Krunia Dejaya's general store has everything. Let's check there first. No, I don't have money. Oh right, I forgot you bought 5 packs of fried rice during break this morning. You always say that you can't resist the smell of them frying the garlic. Do I? You do. Typical Atma. Well, about the money. Why don't you check your pocket? You might have some coins left. I told you I don't have any. What did I just do? Okay, well, I guess I do. Whoa, you're right. I've still got some money. How deep is this pocket? Moral of the story, always listen to your girlfriend. Of course. You're the smart one here. Look, she's hungry. Let's check the general store. Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna pet that cat. I don't really care what it takes, I'm petting that cat. Dum 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 go dum. What? You can't pass through here. That looks like a flower blooming, doesn't it? With the grace of God Almighty, this monument was inaugurated to commemorate the 667th Loka City founding day. I'm a kid. Want a cigarette? No, thank you. Cigarettes are not good for your body. The store! I pet this cat? Not until I buy her something, huh? Fine. Now, where do they keep cat food? Where are my favorite ginger candies? Soda. Seaweed. Oh, there's literally cats right there, aren't there? Nope, nope, it's chocolate. There we go. Hey, I couldn't help but overhear your loud grumbling. You're looking for cat food, right? I think it's next to the cashier. Yep, right here. Here, 1 pack of cat food. Uncle, your customer was confused. Why didn't you help out?
Hey, it's you, Lulu. I have so much to do, you know. Cleaning shelves, checking incoming goods. Besides, you're here to help me.
Don't get used to it. I'm a customer too, Uncle. There's someone who can help you. Why don't you ask Eric?
No, my son is no good. He cares only for his motorbike. He never even studies. I try to beat some sense into him every day. What a bothersome boy.
Beating him is not a good thing, Uncle. Try talking to him.
You're still young, Lulu. You'll understand when you have a kid of your own.
I love that his head is literally shining. Like father, like son, they're so hard to talk to. Oh, you're still here. Eavesdropping much?
I just wanted to say thanks for your help with the cat food.
Oh, it's nothing. I'm Lulu, by the way, and you are...
You're wearing our school uniform, but I've never seen you before. I've never seen you either. What? I'm Lulu? Lucy Octavianti? President of the Student Council last year? That doesn't ring any bells. Everyone knows me. Not everyone, apparently. You're weird. Well, thanks for finding this for me. I gotta go. Why she keeps snapping? Stop snapping at me! Take care, weird guy. Boing. Whoa, where do you think you're going? Going out? Not without paying for that cat food. Thought she just gave it to me, maybe. We only sell the best goods. Yep, you can go once you paid. Thanks for your purchase, kiddo. Boy, bad dog, come here. Oh no! Oh no, how did this happen? What's going on? Hotma the cat, Wait, boy, wait! Hotma, hurry, we have to help the cat! Okay, let's go. Where'd the cat go? No. There, through that gate. Let's go, Atma. What is that? Huh? What is this bowl doing here? Sorry, that's mine. It's my begging bowl. Oh, my apologies, sir. Oh, that's gorgeous. There, that tree. Look at its fur. That's so good. Oh, shoot. What should we do? There must be a way to drive the dog away. Okay, let's try this. Hey, doggy, look what I've got. Ignored. Completely ignored. Maybe it's interested in something else? Oh, the guy chasing him before, wasn't that the dog's owner? Right, we can ask him. Good idea, Atma. Okay, I'll go find a way to calm it down. Can you stay and look after the cat? Okay, please be quick. I can't keep up with him anymore. I lost his favorite toy. Now he's angry. I dropped it near the general store, but when I tried to look for it, it was already gone. One fetch quest after another. Oh, it's Motorbike Guy. Isn't that the dog toy that the dog owner mentioned? Who is he? That uniform. Is he one of the students from my school? I'm getting in cozy mode, folks. Maybe I can ask him. Maybe I can just ask him to get the dog toy. Yeah, I would like the dog toy, please. Hey, that's... Huh? Isn't that a dog toy? Where'd you get it? That's none of your business. Could I have it? Sorry for not seeing your tail earlier. I didn't realize you needed to chew on this. What? No, there's this dog that... Hey, woof woof. Buzz off. Go whine to someone who cares. What's your problem, dude? I'm asking you nicely. You could at least answer properly. You're the problem, mutt. Some random kid coming out of nowhere, flirting with girls, doing whatever you want. And you're dumb enough to try and tell me what to do? Don't you know who I am? I'm Eric. My gang rules this town. So you better watch yourself around us. Okay, look, just let me have the toy. I won't bother you anymore. Oh, you want it so bad, huh? Oh, life's been pretty rough lately, you see. I need to loosen up a bit. I need to ride my bike into the sunset smoking a big cigar. But what a tragedy. I don't have any on me. You want me to get you a cigar? I wouldn't ask, but you just offered like the good puppy you are. There. Go fetch me a pack of cigars, mutt. They're bad for my body! Cat. Your name is Warlord. I heard what's going on. I can explain. Don't worry, no questions asked. Need a cigar, right? I have one right here. I'll even give you a discount, only 1,500 rupiah for my buddy. Are you sure you won't get in trouble selling it to a high schooler? Selling to kids even younger than you, isn't that illegal? Business is business, my friend. I do not have 1,500 rupiah. I gotta find 500 buckaroonies. Okay, so he wants a stamp and he'll give me the O letter. Cool. Of the Yeoman gum. So I need $500. Who's gonna give me 500? Nope. Cat. This cat's name is now Bunzo. I've already talked to you once. Cat. This cat's name is Husky. Anybody want to spot me $500? So how do we feel about this game so far, chat? How are we digging it? I am so far really liking the art style a whole lot. It's definitely a little fetch questy. Welcome, are you a wedding guest? No, sorry, wrong turn. You're here for the wedding too. What a shame that poor groom's bride is, What a beautiful wedding. What a beautiful wedding. Rip, dude. I'm kind of hoping that money's gonna fall out of it. Nope. I'm gonna steal from the beggar? What do I do? I can't figure it out. Maybe she'll have an idea? Maybe she'll have some money she can give me? Did you find anything to calm the dog down? Ugh. Whoa! It's too dangerous to approach. Okay. Maybe he'll help me? No, I know exactly where it is. Are you playing NBA All World, also known as Pokemon Go with basketball players? No. No, I would not even know a basketball player to begin with. I just need money. I need money. I need $500 more. Oh no, I had 4,000. Oopsie. Well, this whole time. I thought it cost 4,000. I now have 2,500 left. Understood. Here. Oh, what a good boy. Should I give you a pat? Just stop it. Can I have the dog toy now? Hey, dog. I have a name. It's Atma. Whatever, just answer one question before I give you this. Is there anything between you and Raya? None of your business. It's a little hard for a mongrel to answer, huh? You want an answer, and that's my answer. Quit this nonsense. Don't go back on your word. A cigar for a dog toy. Such an accusation. I'm not a dog like you. I'm a man of my word. Here. Go run and wag your tail elsewhere. Ugh, what the? Tastes like crap. Why do people like this? Oh, Eric's just trying to be cool. That's fine. No, but I do like Pokemon Go being brought to the sports world. That's fun. Why are you giving me this? The dog is right there. Aw, he's happy. Sure looks happy, all right. Want to play fetch, doggy? Bow! Uh-oh. I didn't even see that. Well, that was a fun little minigame. Oh, I see. I have to hold it? Okay. I'm not used to holding it. I'm used to releasing. All right, here we go. This is the one. Ka-chow! Yeah, I did it. Nicely done, Atma. Oh, the cat still looks very scared. Don't worry, kitty. I'll come up and get you. No, I wanted the thing. I want the thing on the ground. Okay. Don't move further. Be careful, Atma. It's okay, I've got this. Here, kitty, I've got you. The princess looked up to the night sky and thought, am I gonna fall again? It's time to say goodbye. To leave the world behind. Do you want to hear the final chapter? Hold on, Nirmala. Atma. Atma! Oh, what? Atma, are you okay? What happened? You fell. Are you hurt? No, I don't feel any pain. What were you thinking? Be careful next time, dummy. Hey, calm down. I'm okay. How can I calm down? You're not a cat. Meow. This is no time for joking around. What was that meow about? That was silly. Huh. Why are you meowing all of a sudden? That's really silly. You were really brave up there. Thank you, Atma. Sorry for making you worry. Meow. She's safe. Poor soul. You're all right now. What is it? Has she always lived a life full of danger like this? Not to mention the heat or rain. Where's she been taking shelter? Living as a stray cat is tough, huh? Meow. I can't take a cat home. Me neither. What if we made her a house? What? We can build it right here. A shelter and a safe place to sleep. Wouldn't that be great? That would be wonderful. She agrees. Well, where do we start? Did you buy cat food? I have it. Nice. Then we need something to put our food in. A bowl, maybe? As for the shelter, we need a board of some kind. Something strong enough to make a sturdy wall for a cat house. And a pillow inside, so it's comfy enough for her to sleep. What do you think? A bowl for cat food, a board for shelter, and a pillow. That's easy enough. Well, then good luck. Wait, I'm searching for all this stuff by myself? Once you got them, we'll build it together. I have something else to do here in the meantime. What is it? Finding her a name. Come on, don't keep her waiting. If you say so. All right, I remember where the board is, so we'll go get that first. I'm a little nervous about the fact that I got to steal this old guy's bowl. Huh? Get me, I'm dog. Boy, you're back. Ain't in a good mood. Who is a good boy? You are. Yes, you are. Spare a coin, young lad? I could use some money for food. I'll give him some money if he gives me, okay. I guess I gotta find food. My boy's been reunited with his favorite toy. It's your doing, right? Thank you, Atma. Here. Just gotta find a comfy pillow somewhere. I remember where the board is. Hey, can I get through? I need that roof tile and I'll be on my way. You think you can raid our place and get away with it, huh? That's not what I mean. You're acting all smart, huh, bro? But are you smarter than us? Huh? Quiz. Yeah, it's time for a quiz. This is it. The Three Brothers Quiz. Answer 3 of our questions correctly, you can have what you want. Why a quiz? Why? Why a quiz? You're joking, right? Quizzes are everything. Dummy. Now, are you ready for the first question? What date does Indonesia celebrate Independence Day? What a silly question. Even a grade schooler can answer that. There's nothing silly about this country, bro. This is a test of patriotism. I don't know. I don't have any idea. Indonesian Independence Day, November 2nd. Try again. Not November 2nd, August 17th. That's correct. Now the second question. What is the scientific term for skin peeling? There's that one. You made a weird face when you said it, but you answered correctly. Nice one, bro. My turn. Is the backstow in front of the school any good? Huh? What kind of question is that? Just answer it, bro. Yeah, bro, answer it. It's not that good, it's just okay, or it is my favorite. It's my favorite. Is that so? Wait, you never tried it before? No. That's why I asked you, dummy. Yeah, you're dumb, bro. There is one way to find out. Just let's go try it, bro. Good idea, bro. Let's go. Good quiz we had here. Let's do it again sometime. Yeah. Do they realize the boxer stall is closed for the day? This old tin roof tile looks sturdy enough. I'll take it. Should protect the cat from the weather at least. Okay, now I just gotta find a pillow. I don't recall seeing a pillow anywhere. Yep, same stuff as before. It's closed. What a disappointment. What a scam. I like them. I like them. They're goofy and fun. They're goofy and fun and silly and fun. I need some food, I guess. To get the old man to give me his bowl. Hey, kiddo. What is this shop? It's Tokyo Kuronya Ja. General store. We sell everything here. Something for the old man to eat. I don't know. I don't see anything. We need to talk about your magical powers. That's what we need to talk about. An old pillow. Ha ha ha. Give it to me. Nice. All right, now I just got to find some way to feed the old man. Feed the old man some food, and he will give me... his bowl. Kid, that's mine. Could I buy it off you, sir? I'm looking for a bowl just like this one. Sure, if you have the money. That's a lot for a flimsy bowl. Might be a beggar, but a transaction should always be fair. 500 rupiah is fine. You can take back the rest. Are you sure? Thank you so much. I've got a bowl! Alright, I think that's everything, right? Food, bowl, shelter. I haven't. What's left? A bowl, the cat food, a pillow, the board. Oh, I gotta give them to you? Okay. Cat food! Yes, it smells great, right? You're welcome. Roof tile! You can't say that. That's not polite. What are you two talking about? Nothing. The ball looks decent, at least. She doesn't like it, huh? It's fine. Pillow! This old pillow still looks soft. Yes, you'll get a good night's sleep with this. And finally a bowl. That's a proper bowl. Nice find, Atma. A good bowl makes every meal look more appetizing, doesn't it? Meow. Done it. Whoa, it's done. It looks even better than I expected. That's right. This is your new home. Use it whenever you like, Admiral. Admiral? Yes, I decided on a name for her. How is it? It sounds so strong. I know, right? We are your friends from now on, Admiral. It suits her. We can check on her inner time now, right? Yes, you're right. Oh, what time is it? I almost forgot about the movie. Let's go, Atma. I hope there are still some seats left. Don't worry about it. I'm sure there are exactly 2 free seats for us. See you later, Admiral. Good cat. Good cat. That's good. That's good. You sure don't seem to be in a rush, Raya. It's a good soundtrack.
Where are the movies? Are they over here? Maybe that's why they were blocking it off the entire time. I don't know. Where are the movies? Let's go to the movies. I wonder what's showing right now. I wonder where the movies are.
Didn't I tell you to go? Oh, Miss Raya. Hello. What are you doing here?
Well, Atma and I are going to the cinema, and you're in our way.
All right, let's move out, boys. I can't believe it. Those scary bikers listen to you.
Do you have a backstory with them or something? No. That's just the way they are, I guess.
Maybe it's your girl power.
Girl power?
Girls run the world.
Stop it. Let's go before you embarrass me even more. I thought that was a naked man. Definitely didn't think that was a duck.
Quack, quack, quack. Quack. So tired.
What's that?
Behold, the great comet of doom has torn up the sky. Oh, wandering soul, have you seen last night's news? The comet of doom has finally come. Don't you want salvation, my dear child? For only 1,000,000 rupiah, you can own this spirit-infused gemstone made from a meteorite. It's a holy talisman that will save you from the cataclysm. What? You don't believe me? How dare you? The gemstone was crafted by...
Is this the exact same thing he said before? Weird. Hi there.
Hi.
So, has the movie caught your interest?
I don't know. Both look
Boring?
Yeah.
I prefer movies with animals. So if there are any cats in these movies...
Yeah, miss. Are there any movies about cats or any animals?
A prehistoric animal is the main character in Cyborg Raptor Returns. Technically, a raptor is an animal.
Not in that sense, you know.
And I believe there are some cats walking around in the background in Manhattan. That doesn't count. Look, both of you, I'm just doing my job. Do you guys want to buy some tickets or not? Well, we're already here. What movie should we watch, Atma? Cyborg Raptor Returns or Manhattan? I'm way more curious about this one. A love story about a high school couple and their adolescence. Feels a little on the nose. Girl meets a boy and they fall in love. It's so predictable, don't you think? Shall we watch Manhattan? I'm always in the mood for romance. Tickets are 4,000 rupiah. Let's see.
Uh-oh.
Dang. What is it?
I don't have enough money.
Huh? How is that possible? You should have enough.
Hey, how can you be so sure that I have enough money?
I know you, Atma. Did you buy something other than cat food?
Well, yeah.
I planned everything, and yet...
Raya?
She was the one that gave me the money? Oh, okay. Aren't you two the lucky couple of the day?
Huh?
We're having a special screening promotion in Studio 3 to celebrate the anniversary of the cinema. Buy one ticket, get one free. You only have to pay for one ticket.
Whoa, isn't that amazing?
Or, whoa, isn't that amazing? A special screening.
Well, it is definitely a good deal. Then we'll take it, please.
Thank you, and congratulations, you two.
Perhatian, pintu teater 3 telah dibuka. Para penonton yang telah memiliki
What about popcorn?
karcis dipersilahkan untuk memasuki ruangan teater.
I'm sorry, is that an Ace Attorney reference?
They say Raptor's actor changed in Cyborg Raptor Returns. I hope they can still get the Raptor's accent right.
That is definitely an Ace Attorney reference. Oh, hi, Atma.
Hello.
Nice to see you at my workplace finally. Who are you? Let's go inside. I can't wait to watch the movie you chose. No ticket, no entry. Sorry. Wait, what? Did I not buy the stinking ticket? This game is so picky. No, I do have the tickets. Ah! I do think it's picky. 2 tickets? Yep. Enjoy the movie. You seem happy. Yes, we're finally watching a movie together. The first item done on our bucket list. Oh, the trailers are over. Come on, Amma. Our seats are somewhere up here. The movie will start any second now. Coming. Oh, they're kind of cute. So many things happen today, you know? But I'm glad I can sit here and watch a movie with you right now. So am I. And I've got something to make it perfect. You bought the overpriced popcorn? Of course not, dummy. I brought it from home. Everyone knows you have to smuggle your own snacks into cinemas. What a cunning move. That's my girl. May I have some? Of course. There's no way you can enjoy a movie without popcorn. As you always said. Did I? The curtains are going up. Shh. Sorry. Yes. I'm Sita, a high schooler living my life to the fullest, until I met this man. I grabbed Raya's hand. Just play it cool. Act as nothing happened. It just keeps happening. My bad. You did it on purpose, didn't you? Oh, well. Who are you again? My name is Raga. I don't want a popular kid like you interrogating me. He's so weird. He's getting on my nerves. So why can't I take my eyes off him? You'll never know how it feels. Oh, so that's it? It's my fault? Why don't you blame my cats, too? Cats? I can't be with you anymore, Raga. Now that I have him, my cat man. Huh? I'm Catman. Meow louder, my underling. Meow, meow, mew, mew, mew. Great. This is Cat Wonderland. Here, you can eat and nap as much as you like. This movie is getting weirder. Shh. Catman. I like that he's an old man in your headcanon, Perry. Mew, boss, meow. Don't cry, my dear. Cat Wonderland has finally found the right air. Now it's time to go back to my box. Thank you, Catman. Thank you. Meow. The end. I love his face. That's great. Whoa, that was amazing. Despite the weird change of direction, sure, it was interesting. The best part was when Catman chose to live a simple life at the end. Yeah, it was a good end. Cat Wonderland seems like a nice concept. Just imagine a place where we can pet cats all day. You look so happy imagining it, Atma. Of course, I pet cats in my dreams, and it feels great. You think so? But Cat Wonderland is fictional. It's no use to daydream about it. Well, what is it, Raya? Well, what if we could go to Cat Wonderland? Huh? Would you be happy? Well, yeah, but what do you mean? Go to Cat Wonderland? Close your eyes, and please don't freak out. Raya, close your eyes. Wait, this is Cat Wonderland. It really exists? Well, not at first, but I just created it. You what? What is happening? This game is taking a twist just like the movie did. Hey, you two. Hello, Admiral. Hey.
She can talk?
You've just realized?
Wait, Raya, is Admiral...
Yes, I can talk. Get over it. You're just embarrassing yourself.
Wait, who? How? I...
Don't freak out.
Okay, can you tell me what's going on?
So, this is my superpower, kind of. I've had this power the whole time, you know? I was so afraid people would see me as a freak. I still am. I wanted to let you know, and today seemed like a perfect time to tell you. I'm sorry I didn't tell you any sooner. I understand if you're mad or scared of me.
Hey, that's all right, Raya. All of this, it's wonderful.
Well, this is my superpower.
I'm glad you're telling me all this. It's kind of unexpected, though. I'm still trying to get my head around the nature of your power.
What do you want to know?
Does your power have any side effects? That is an important first question.
I'm okay, but yes, my power has its limits. I'll get weaker and weaker until I pass out from exhaustion if I ever do it. So I'll use it carefully.
I see.
Can your power create anything? Well, I can do lots of things, like putting some money in someone's pocket, or levitating a bit.
That was you?
Yep. And now I've created Cat Wonderland from the movie.
Wow, it's just... Wow. But why do you have it? How?
I have no idea. Sadly, I can't answer all your questions. The inquisitive type, I see. Well, we're in Cat Wonderland. Let's enjoy it. Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow. Smells delicious. Meow. You have some cat food left over, don't you? Let's feed them. And most importantly, pet them all.
Time to find the fluffiest.
Which one is the fluffiest?
Did you give them cat food? Enjoy, little guys.
Where did the weird noise come from?
Oh. Oh. This cat looks weird. Hey, buddy, do you want some food? It's no use. He doesn't seem to like it.
I can deep dive. A yellow flower like the one in my dream.
Wait, I have the red book too. Could it be? What was it called? Space dive? Can I do it in real life too? No harm in trying. Link start.
So that's my superpower? Cool. My superpower is I can dive into brains.
This exactly like what I did in my dream. Could today get any weirder? That. This flower thing. It was there when I space dived into that girl. What was her name again? And what's this doing here?
Piece of paper. Is it going to go into my notebook? My handy dandy?
Some paper? No, a storybook draft? It's time. The world has ended. The whole planet will crumble into dust.
Some would call it a mere child's drawing, but it's more than that.
Who's there?
It's a prophecy. One that tells of the fate of this world.
Catman! What is happening? You won't stop me from fulfilling the prophecy.
Wait, what? Begone!
Whoa! What just happened?
I have a bad feeling about this. Oh no, calm down, everyone.
Raya! Raya, what just happened?
I don't know.
Boo! The end is near! Oh no! They look like they're ready to attack! The cats are acting strangely since I space dived. Did I mess up? Why? How did it turn out this way? Hang on. What is this epic animated scene? Go away! Hiss! The end is near! Dude, if cats started talking to me and telling me the end is near, I'd be out, dude. What is this game? I am so perturbed. Raya, did the cats hurt you? No, but the side effects. Oh no, it's my fault. I'm so sorry. What? You look sick. We need to get you home immediately. What on earth is going on? The cats? What is happening? This game took such a turn. This game took such a turn. What happened? They were acting like cats? Have they gone mad? It affected the cinema too. Maybe I can... Ugh. You're too weak right now, Raya. Just wait here. I'll get us out. Okay. Time to clean up your own mess, Alma. Yeah! Grab the axe, dude! There's a password on the lock? I guess I better find out the password. Everyone's going crazy. Is this the end of the world? Alright, well. Guess it's time to space dive. Link started! For what it's worth, I'm still super on board. But this has taken a very strange turn. Help me, I'm stuck! Oh man, it's barred shut. I need to find a way to get it open. Hurry, someone find an axe! It's pitch black in here, I'm scared of the dark! Where can I find an axe? I think we have one in the lobby. It's locked to the password, though. Oh, do you know the password? Not exactly. Our boss changed the password the other day. I think it's from his favorite horror movie. What was it called again? I'm going now. Find a chainsaw, an axe, a hammer, or something. Who was the boss, I wonder? Link start. You're the last one. Whoopsie. Link start. I haven't saved in a while. Is that like a thing I should be doing? Will it prompt me to save? $19.91. Guarantee that's the password. There's still cats on all the posters. I can't get out. Oh, okay. I can't believe the cats are bad, dude. Hey, you! Are the cats gone? Yeah, you can come out now. Thank you! Here, it's a mess around here. You might need this. You're giving me a broom? Can I clean up all the popcorn with a broom? I'm gonna go get the axe first. It's gotta be 1991, right?
we go. I have a murder weapon. Hello, everyone. I have a murder weapon. No big deal. Just me and my murder weapon. Myrtle. Me and my myrtle weapon. Let's take it down. Ah, is it a lock? I'm still stuck. It needs a key. I'll find it. Is the key in the popcorn pile? Hmm. I like the soundtrack a lot. I really like the sound effects. They're very well done. Sweep it up. You've been there all this time? Or you've been there all this time? Yeah, son. I've been under a pile of junk like this all my life. But this seems like the worst pile of junk I've ever seen. I hate my job. Found a key. It might just be useful. All right, into the next one. Into the breach! I'm finally out! Thank you! Nice! We did it! We saved the world from cats! We can get out now. I must get Raya. Let's go, Raya. Everything's better now. Can you stand up? Let me help. It's almost sunset. Be careful, Raya. Okay. If you aren't feeling well, just tell me. I'll help. Do you need a piggyback? I can carry you. That's okay. Of course, it's not okay. This power of yours is dangerous. And I make it worse. Hey. Everything's gonna be alright, Amma. What? Who's there? More people going crazy? That's a problem. Please, wait here. I'll take a look. Oh, boy. Hey, buddy. Oh, no. I didn't check if the outside was affected. What is going on? Is everyone in the world affected? Is this The Last of Us? Hey there, buddy. It's okay. I can help you. What? Hey, calm down. He's so strong. I can't break loose. Hey, let me go. If you grip like that, I can't breathe. No. Don't use your powers. What are you thinking? Uh-huh. What am I doing here? He's back to normal? No, Raya! I'm glad you're okay. Hey, Raya, wake up. Raya? This game has got to stop doing this. What is happening? Every time I think this game is gonna zig, it zags. What? What is going on? Yes, I want to save. Yes, I want to save. What do you mean, of course? Huh? A little kid. What are you doing here? Is that a drawing? Can I see? Why did you scrap it? What drawing is it? This is my character, Star Princess. She ran away from home in space.
And then? There is no and then. I don't know anything else about her. Where she was from, what kind of place she had in this world, who her friends are. I don't know anything. There's so many ideas floating in my head, but I don't know what to draw. Star Princess from space. What are you doing? I'm putting your ideas down on paper. Here, if you map it out like this, it's much easier to arrange your thoughts. You can do this with emotions too, positive or negative. It's a really good way to manage anxiety and stress. So, this Star Princess came to Earth, right? Maybe as a shooting star? She was separated from her twin planet, and she came here because she was lonely, and she wants to find friends. How's that for an outline? Whoa, that's brilliant. Was that magic? Is the book magical? It's magic, isn't it? If this book is magical, then you should definitely have it. My mom said not to take anything from strangers. That's very sensible of her. Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Amma. You can call me Nirmala. Now that we've been introduced to each other, we're no longer strangers, right? Fine, you win. Why do you care so much if I take it? I'm interested in those drawings of yours. I'm a story writer too, you know. You are? Well, at least I aspire to be. That's enough, right? Take the book, kid. Consider it as a gift. A gift? But it's not my birthday. Gifts that bring joy shouldn't only be given on birthdays. You're amazing. Thank you. A model student like you shouldn't miss this kind of opportunity to plan your future. You ungrateful child. This is because of those stupid doodles of yours. Please, you must keep drawing. Ugh. What? Why am I? This is the classroom? We were in cinema and then... the cinema! Oh no. Raya! Where's Raya? Oh no, this is bad. Whoa. Admiral? You seem restless. Of course you saw the chaos in Cat Wonderland, the cinema too. And now Raya's gone. So let's go. Huh? You want to see her too? Let's look for her together. You know where she is? No. That's why I said look for her, right? Wake up, Romeo. Get it together, or I'll have to use my claws. Right, sorry. She's right, Alma. Get yourself together. Now, where should we start? Look who's here. What's going on? What's going on? Like you don't know already. You're messing with our boss, right? Your boss? Eric, our boss. Stop acting clueless, you jerk. Number 1, you forced him to smoke cigarettes. Think that's funny, do you? Gonna tattle on him for the teacher for smoking? Number 2, you stole the girl he had a crush on. Ooh, that's really nasty. Number 3, you got a stupid face. Yeah, so unbearably stupid it makes me want to punch him. Come on, seriously? Look, guys, I'm in a hurry. I really don't have time for this. Can you move aside? What, is this guy for real? Oh. Shut up, guys. It's butt-kicking time.
School bullies. Fight!
Now, what is it now? Did you pee your pants? He's strong. Yeah, I keep shaking it out like that. I'll get you eventually. I can't attack him. Stop blocking like that, you coward. I don't think I can hold him any longer. We've almost got him. Keep attacking. Raya? I can't move. Stop it. What do you think you're all doing? Raya? Raya? What were we doing here again? Go. Don't make any more trouble.
Yes. Hey guys, let's get out of here. Oh, I can move again. I'm sorry. I shall take my leave then. Wait, don't leave me.
Atma, and Admiral too. You both okay? Raya, I was going to look for you. I was worried.
We both were.
Well, here I am. Everything will be all right. But I don't understand. Are you okay? Sorry to make you worry. I'm not in prime condition, but I am getting better. That's why I just used my power on a bully. I used too much of my power last time.
That seems bad.
Hey, I just need to rest for a while. Everything will be okay.
What happened in the cinema?
Yes. I confirmed something that I've suspected for a while now. There's a greater power. From the sky. A transgressor. I can feel it. I'm almost positive that this power is the reason that people went mad at the cinema.
So, it isn't because of me? What should we do now?
You can't do anything, but I can.
What?
I'm worried that whatever anomaly caused the chaos in the cinema is just going to keep getting worse. I need to stop it as soon as I can. I was too weak to fight back last time, but now, let me try.
Are you sure? What if...
Oh no! What's going on? Raya, are you okay?
Miss Neekin, she,
You don't look so good. Can you walk? I can take you home. No!
Please.
Oh, please, I just need to take a short rest. Can I rest in the classroom instead, miss? If you say so, here, let me help you.
Raya.
It's okay, Amma. See you in a moment.
Is there anything I can do? I feel so useless.
Follow me. I have something that'll help her.
You do? What is it? Can it really help Raya?
Quit griping. Start moving those thick legs of yours. You want to help her, right? Just follow me.
No need to be so grumpy about it.
And my legs aren't thick. They're just normal sized.
Oh yeah, it's the food stand. I love how much of this game has to do with animals. Ooh.
Where do you think you're going? Follow me.
I was gonna go get the high score.
Here we are.
Ria Cafe.
Go inside and buy a Black Forest Gateau.
Admiral, if you're hungry, I can buy you something cheaper than...
Is there any brain at all in that thick skull of yours? It's not for me! You wrote that list with Raya before, didn't you?
Oh, the bucket list. That's right. Raya did write something about a cake. Wait, that was definitely before we met you.
Yes, and?
How do you know so much about Raya?
Can't say for sure, but according to my feline intuition, ever since Raya put a collar on me, I've had the power to understand the world as it is. To understand her.
Whoa, she can do that?
There's so much that she can do. Power that massive needs to be protected. As of now, with this ability, I am to act as her protector. I trust you will do your part in making sure Raya is safe and happy.
You got it.
What's some fancy fruity cake got to do with making Raya feel better?
My understanding is that Raya's physical and mental well-being have a huge impact on her power. She needs to be happy and well again to replenish her energy.
And she put something about Black Forest Gâteau on her bucket list. It must be your favorite. Will she be happy with the cake from this store?
Definitely. Ria Cafe has the best bakery in town.
Really? Then I should get one right away.
Now what are we waiting for? Go buy the Black Forest Gâteau, will you? Oh dear. Oh no. Let me guess, is there some kind of fetch quest that I need to go on to get the Black Forest Gâteau? I can only imagine.
Excuse me, a whole Black Forest Gâteau, please. Huh? What's going on here?
Oh, Atma, the pastry chef just had a fight with the owner.
What? What happened?
I suggest you talk to the owner. I need to clean up this mess.
Grandpa, you okay? Hey, kiddo. Cashier said you had a fight with the pastry chef? She mentioned about trying other cuisines, and I got angry. I told her she needs to get her priorities straight. Maybe I was too harsh. She trashed the place and stormed out. She reminds me of being a young lad. Well, she is my grandkid after all. I'm sorry you have to see us in such a sorry state.
Cashier said you had a fight with the pastry chef. I need a Black Forest Gâteau.
Are you shopping for your girlfriend?
Oh, how do you know?
Raya's in here all the time. We all know about her fondness for Black Forest Gâteau.
That's a shame. All the ingredients are all trash, too. Could I perhaps help you find the ingredients?
You will?
I really need this cake, to be honest. I can get them from the general store, right?
You're a godsend, kiddo. Thank you so much.
You know what? If you manage to get all the ingredients, I'll bake the cake myself.
You did all the work for us, after all.
Woohoo! Thanks, Grandpa. I'll be going now. Oh, is that Eric? Low-key, I kind of like Eric.
What are you doing?
Ha, the man of the hour. I see what you're doing.
What am I doing?
Running up and down and around town to please a girl.
Pathetic. Doesn't make you any less of a man to make your girl happy.
You gross. A man should live his life for himself, not let any women anchor him down. Chicks dig confident, mysterious guys like that. Leave me alone, Eric. No, you leave Raya alone. She needs a real man. What, you think you fit the bill? Atma, don't let him get to you. What about the cake? Yeah, so bad news. Ria Cafe can't make it, or any cakes actually. Their chef has gone missing. We'll have to find the ingredients by ourselves. Maybe we can find the ingredients at the general store. General store, huh? Yeah, that'll be a good place to start. And now you're ignoring me. Well, then ignore this. You'll never find the cake ingredients on any store. Moreover, you'll never be able to go anywhere.
What do you mean?
Hey, fellas.
Yo, Eric, I'm ready.
You won't get past us. You should see the look on your face. Want to hide behind Raya's skirt again, little mutt? This is what I meant when I said you're pathetic. I bet you can't even get out of the neighborhood without the help of your little girlfriend. Should I slip past them and go get Raya? Don't. Raya's not well. The last thing she needs is to get involved in this. Don't tell me this has something to do with your manly pride. He has a point. I should learn to fight my own battles for her sake and mine. Are you sure you can do this on your own? Don't worry, I can manage. Hopefully.
Come on now, pay up and we'll leave you alone. No way, I'm done. You keep asking for more money. I have mouths to feed at home, you know. Security comes with the price tag, always has. You pay, we protect. No pay, no protect. Protect us from what? It's you we need protection from. I was gonna make it easy for you. Crap, there's an even bigger problem here. Oi! I don't like to intervene in consensual business practices, but he told you to get lost. So you better get lost, dude. This doesn't concern you. It does when you're making trouble with the arcade I love so dearly. What's a scrawny twerp like you doing talking all big? Let me speak slowly so you understand. This arcade is my territory. Beat him up! I'm gonna knock some sense into you. Alright, bring it on. Let's go, Justin! Tiger uppercut! You're no match for me. Crap! Mr. Clean Shirt packs a punch! You'll pay for this! You'll... Oh, this guy's stone cold. Thank you, Mr. Sabandi. Oh, it's nothing. I'm gonna continue playing, alright. Of course. Please stay as long as you like. Your games are on the house, of course. As long as you're here, my arcade is safe from those thugs. That guy looks so assuming, but he's crazy strong. Wonder what his secret is. Hope those thugs don't come around again. Few plushies, some tickets left. Future Fighters character cutouts. Mr. Sobandi, is it? What is it, kid? I'm busy. If you want to play, get in line. Can you teach me how to fight? What? If you're just out to steal somebody's lunch money, you can beat it. What does a high schooler like you need to fight for? I mean, you're just a regular civil servant, right? I could say the same to you. How do you know that? Your uniform. Good eye, kid. Please. I need to learn how to protect her. A girl, huh? Oh, you want to be strong for her, I'm guessing? Yes. A truly worthy woman would love you for who you are, kiddo. But it's a noble reason to fight, if any. Very well, I'll teach you. Really? After I defeat this last boss. And when is that? Don't know. But I have to defeat him. I have to. Is that another Space Dive flower? I can use Space Dive to help him. More tickets. All right, Link, start. Boss, the last boss. If I defeat this game's last boss, maybe I can stand it to my boss too. But I can't. I'm too scared. I can feel something gnawing at me. I can't do it myself. Let's see. If I press this button... No! I can't let myself be a doormat forever. I'll defeat the last boss. In this game and in my workplace. Oh. Nice. And where's Zando? Is Zando here? I will fight back. I will find my voice.
You win.
I love it. Yes. Take that, you despotic power-drunk sadist.
Boing. Nice. Love it.
I did it. I defeated the last boss. And I understand now. If I treat the fight like a game, yeah, I could do that. You found my secret, kid. Remember this game when you face your adversaries. What you need is absolute focus. Don't dwell on your fear. I will. There! Boss, this is the dude I told you about. Beat him up, boss. So you think you're cool, huh? Your territory. This old town is ours. Come on, fight me. Reckon you can take on this thug? Well, me? Think of it as a test of your new skills. Give it everything you've got. All right, bring it on. Biker boss. So strong. Boss. Now, high school kid, what is the deal with the weirdos who hang out at this arcade? Get out and don't come back. Bye. I'm a boy. You're protecting the arcade too? I'm so blessed. Will you be okay from now on, kid? Yes. I can protect Raya now. Good. Be a good man and protect the ones you care about. Thank you, sir. You really are a great teacher. No need to call me sir, but I guess you can call me sensei like other martial arts. Of course, sensei. Sensei. As expected, it has a nice ring to it. Atma, you can play Future Fighter for free whenever you want, okay? My treat. Whoa, really? I doubt I'll have time to play. Remember, it's important to stop and take a breather once in a while. Where have I heard that phrase before? Something wrong? Nothing. Gotta go now. All right, I'll be waiting for you to come and play. Try to beat my second best high score while you're at it. That's right, I plan to beat Future Fighter's high score. The occasional game won't hurt. As in, right now. We've got 22 minutes. Let's see how hard this game is. How bad can it be?
You win.
Hey, thanks for the follow, Worship Music Live. Welcome in. Appreciate ya. Welcome Checkpoint Church, church for nerds, geeks, and gamers. Thanks. Welcome in. I take it from your name that you play Worship Music Live. Very fun.
Win. 5.
I was a worship leader for a while, a couple years. A church plant in Winston-Salem. I miss it. I'm actually going to get to play. My dad is also a pastor, and their worship leader is out of town this Sunday. And so I'm going to go lead worship for him this Sunday. I am, yep. And guitar. Anything that can be strummed, I'm at least somewhat willing to learn.
You win.
And then I sing and lead in harmony. I'd love to be able to play the drums. That would be a dream. I can play simple drums. I can play like a cajon or something like that. Congas. I was in a rock band, a Christian rock band in high school, and we always played the congas. It was fun.
5.
Very cool. Nice to meet you. Welcome in. Yeah, you have one. They're cool. They're fun little instruments.
5.
Guitar, keys, and cajon. Yeah, I wish I could learn piano. That would be nice too. Piano and drums. I've tried so many times. I even took piano lessons in college. But I don't know, my like brain doesn't process it.
You win.
Speaking of guitar, are you going to play Hi-Fi Rush, the game that was announced yesterday and dropped last night? I'm down to try it. Maybe we'll play the first little bit of it on stream. It's not, I mean, it is like, it's somewhat, it kind of reminds me of like, Crypt of the Necrodancer-esque, you know?
Win. 5.
How long is this game? How far do you think I have to go?
You win. 5.
Like, is there, should I be like paying attention for what is the high score? I guess will I know whenever I reach the last boss?
You win.
Watching someone play it, it's not anything earth-shattering, but it seems fun.
5.
Yeah, the rhythm-based stuff is fun. I like anything on Game Pass. Free 99.
Win.
Free 99 is my favorite price of a game for sure.
5.
No! No! Oh no! I got so far!
You
I tried so hard
5.
and got so far. Cha! Ha ha ha! Cha! No! That is so precise. Bah! Nice. Ooh, ooh.
You win.
Ooh. How far does it go? We're at 13 hundo. Cha! No! Ah! No! No! Woo! No! No! Oh no! Cha! No! 13 hundo. Oh man, I wonder what is the high score? 1500? I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it, dude. I can do it. I can do it. I got this. I got this. Only 200 away. Got this.
You
Come on.
win.
Easy.
5.
Easy.
You win.
I see now that 1500 in the top right was the high score. Does that mean I have to get 1500 or does that mean I have to get 1600?
5.
I'm concerned.
You win. 5.
Gotta try. I gotta try for it.
You win.
I probably should sit up and actually get in the zone though.
5. You win. 5.
So Worship Music Live, what kind of, do you write originals or do you do covers? What kind of songs do you play? Is it like classic hymns or modern contemporary or
Win.
classic contemporary?
5.
If you're still with us. Originals and contemporary. Very fun.
You win.
But like, contemporary now spans so many decades that I feel like we really need a more nuanced term, you know? Also do hymns, very cool. I had to learn hymns. I was at a rural church appointment before this one, and I had never sang like a hymn in my entire life. And then our pianist left us, and so I had to learn how to play hymns on the guitar because I didn't know how to play piano, and I didn't know hymns.
You win.
It was a real bind.
5.
All right, 600 away. No, come on, that was so close. Oh no! You boy, oh boy!
You win.
All right, I'm sitting up. I'm sitting up. I'm sitting up. I'm sitting up. I'm sitting up.
5.
Very diverse. Yeah. That's a good word for it. Woo, that's a close one.
You win.
All right. 3 more. Here we go. No! Come on!
You win. 5.
No! Oh no! Woo! No! No! That's it! Oh no! Oh my goodness, it was so close! Oh man, it is weird how contemporary worship music includes like a 20-year span, maybe even more. Oh, way more than that. Way more than that. I'm in North Carolina worship music live. We got 12 minutes. Do I try again? I don't know. I'll try one more. We got one more. Here we go. Yeah, I'm into it now, man. This stinking game. Yeah, but I'm in North Carolina. I'm in the United Methodist Church. You're in Western North Carolina. Those good old Charles Wesley hymns. I feel like I'm like morally required to know, even if I do. We stayed in Asheville, North Carolina for a month. Very nice. I was just in Asheville for a conference.
Win. 5.
I hate when games make you do that stop the cursor thing. Yes, it's awful. It's awful.
You win.
Billy Graham Highway, sure.
5.
Yep. Billy Graham Museum is there too. One in Charlotte as well. I guess the bigger one is in Charlotte. Where is the bigger one in Asheville? I can never remember. But yeah.
You win.
I actually had a coworker who worked at the Billy Graham Library. Whenever he was in college. No! Oh, whoa, no!
You
All
win.
right. I wish I could like skip to 1,000.
5.
Or even like learn how to do super moves or something. I mean, look, at this point I'm into it, you know. Originally from Oregon, now live in Idaho. Very cool. I actually just met someone from Idaho at the conference in Nashville. How fun is that?
You win.
Just all kind of connections up in here.
5.
I would ask you what part of Idaho, but I gotta be real with you and say that I know nothing about Idaho.
You win. 5.
Okay, so after we do this, hopefully we're gonna get it this time.
You win.
But even assuming that we don't, we'll wrap up after this. Figure out how to save. Ooh, I got distracted. Oh boy.
You win.
I wonder if it just goes perpetually up and down the cursor one. Or if it like has like a limiter. Like if it only goes up twice or something.
You win.
60 miles south of the Canadian border. Okay. Do you ever go to Canada? Woo!
You win. 5. You win.
My son and grandchildren live in BC, Canada. Very cool. What? What? Oh no! Don't get too cocky. Don't get too cocky. Woo! No, I'm getting cocky. I'm getting cocky. Oh no! Oh no! I got too sure of myself. Oh no! Oh no, dude! Oh no! Oh, this doesn't look like Big Boss. Come on! No!
You
Is that it? No, I have to do one more? I gotta do one more, don't I? Oh, no!
you
Does that count? Or do I have to get 1600? Please, no. Please. Does that count? High score. I finally beat the high score. Whose was it again? RFN? Why does that name seem so familiar? Is it anyway? Oh, Rin. Rin is the other name on the front of the thing. Heck yeah, I did it! Heck yeah, I did it! Yeah, I did it! Yeah, I did it! Yeah! Give me another piece of paper. Oh man, video games are so silly, you guys. Aren't video games silly? Oh no. Oh, a memory. Oh, okay. Yeah, beat that. He crap, you brat. At least something good came out of this day. Watch out, keep your eyes on the screen or you're toast. What is it? What happened today? I got a bad grade again and my teacher yelled at me. He called me an idiot. What kind of a teacher says something like that anyway? Yeah, that's screwed up. Don't let it get to you though. Maybe you're not the top of the class, but you have other talents. You can write and draw, and you're pretty darn good at a Future Fighter too. Don't stress it, really. It's important to stop and take a breather once in a while. You can try your best again after that, okay? Well, yeah. But just once, I want to make my parents proud. It wouldn't hurt to hear a teacher praise me for once. Maybe I can tutor you. I'm in high school. I'm sure I can handle whatever it is you're doing in class. I don't want to study today. It's arcade time. Maybe after this game? Deal. Yeah, I won! Again? How'd you manage that? Anyway, now we've done some arcade time. How about some studying? Ugh. Oh, what's that? My head really hurts. Okay. We're going to save and we're going to call it quits for this one. But folks, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us. Worship Music Live, it was nice to meet you. Hope that you will be able to join us for some upcoming streams that we have. We're Checkpoint Church, church for nerds, geeks, and gamers. And we stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every other Friday. We will not be streaming tomorrow, probably because we will be having a special stream next Friday that we'll tell you guys more about, hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have the advertisements done tomorrow, and we'll get all that stuff into your sphere then. But we're going to go find somebody to raid, and then we'll do our ending spiel. So let's see. Who is live right now? Boop, 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 boop. Okay. You know, it's been a while. It's been a while since we raided XGen Ninja. Why don't we raid XGen Ninja? Let's go for it. We're gonna raid XGen Ninja today, playing some Genshin. Folks, we are Checkpoint Church, really church. I'm Nerd Pastor Nate. I'm really a pastor of this community. And here at Checkpoint, we believe 3 things to be true about every single one of you, regardless of whether or not you believe in God, don't believe in God, go to church, don't go to church, hate God, hate the church, no matter how you feel or where you may be. We still believe these 3 things to be true about every single one of you. Number 1, believe that God loves you, like really, really loves you. We love you. We want community with you. That's what we're doing here at Checkpoint Church on Twitch, on Discord, on YouTube, all those sorts of places. And then number 3, we believe that you, yes, you, no matter who you are, where you've been, or what you've done, or what you believe, we believe that you matter. You are a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, with that, until the next time that I see you, we're going to go raid XGen Ninja. As we do believe that you matter, just for following, we give you guys a free emote that says you matter. If you wouldn't mind, let's go raid XGen Ninja with a bunch of those emotes. Go spam those emotes in the chat of XGen Ninja. Let him and his community know that they matter. With that, folks, until the next time that I see ya, bye-bye!